Today we're going to read a book, and it is a book that we started before e-learning in March, and we never finished it. So I'm going to start over since I think we kind of forgot a lot of it. And it's A to Z Mysteries, and it's written by Ron Roy, and it's called The Deadly Dungeon. Remember they went on like a vacation and they were in, I don't know, like Scotland or something? So I'm going to read the back. Soon after the kids arrive at Moose Manor in Maine, oh, Scotland, okay, really, really close, Miss Ulrich, they hear strange sounds behind the walls. Does the castle have a hidden dungeon? And could it be haunted? Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose are dying to find out. Okay, so let's get started. D is for danger. Dink took a deep breath of the sea air. Small boats made colorful dots against the blue ocean. It's really nice, he said. Josh peered nervously over the cliff. How do we get down? Suddenly, a scream burst from the castle behind them. Dink nearly dropped his end of the picnic basket. The skin on his arms erupted into 1,000 goosebumps. Wallace glanced back and grinned. Dink, Josh, Ruth Rose, allow me to introduce the ghost of Emery Scott. And we begin the deadly dungeon. Do you know why there is a lobster in this picture? Well, a lobster is something that is very popular in Maine. It's a delicious treat for people who like seafood. So here's a map. And we have welcome to Moose Manor. And we have, let's see, so here is the map of Maine. That's the very tippy top of United States East Coast. And if you go a little bit further, there's like New York and states like that. Here's the Compass Rose. Looks like there's a playhouse, a side door, a moose. There's the road to Belfast Manor, or Maine. And then we have the castle and the moat. Front door, drawbridge. Looks like an actual castle. And here is the good old Atlantic Ocean. Kind of cool. Oh, look at this cliff that you can go down. Wow, picnic beach. I love maps. When I was in college, I took a class that was only about maps. It was one of the coolest classes I took, cartography. Chapter 1. So here we have them on a bus. Dink squirmed in his seat. He, Josh, and Ruth Rose had been riding the bus since 7 that morning. They were on their way to Maine to visit their friend Wallace Wallace, a famous mystery writer. The three of them had met her when she came to Greenlawn. Dink smiled when he remembered how they had rescued Wallace from a, quote, kidnapper. Dink glanced over at Josh, asleep in his seat. His sketchpad was open on his lap. Behind Josh, Ruth Rose was looking at a map. She liked to dress in one color. Today it was green, from her t-shirt to her high tops. Dink moved into the seat next to Ruth Rose. Where are we? He asked. Almost there. She pointed to Belfast, Maine on her map. We just passed a Welcome to Belfast sign. Dink nodded. That was where Wallace was picking them up. Ruth Rose tucked her map into her pack. I'm so excited, she said. Do you think her castle has a moat and a dungeon? I just hope it has food, Dink said. I'm starving. Josh's head popped up in front of them. Me too. Are we there yet? Just then, the bus driver called out, Belfast! All right, Josh said, leaping into the aisle. The bus stopped in front of a small gray shingled building. Through the window, Dink could see the water. Do you see Wallace? Ruth Rose asked. Dink grabbed his pack. No, but let's get off. I think I'm allergic to buses. The kids headed for the front. They followed an elderly couple down the steps. They were squinting into the blinding sunlight when they heard someone say, Hi, kids! A tall man with curly blonde hair was walking toward them. His face was tanned and smiling. I remember you. You're Wallace's brother, Ruth Rose said. Call me Walker, okay? Said the man. Wallace is buying groceries, so she asked me to get you. Walker Wallace picked up Dink's pack. It clunked heavily against his leg. What's in here, your rock collection? He asked. Dink grinned. Books. My mom said it rains a lot in Maine, so I came prepared. Walker laughed. We've planned perfect weather for you guys. Sun every day. Come on. That's my Jeep over there. Walker's dusty brown Jeep had no top. The leather seats were worn and split in places. He swept a pair of boots and a tool belt onto the floor, making room in the back seat. Pile in. The boys climbed into the back. Ruth Rose sat next to Walker. How far is the castle? She asked. Not far, Walker pointed. About a mile past those trees. He drove up the coast. You guys hungry? Sis is buying everything in the store for you. I'm always hungry, Josh said, leaning back and crossing his legs. He took a deep breath of the ocean air. What a smell. I'll say, Dink said. Get your smelly foot out of my face. It's not smelly, Josh said, wiggling his sneaker under Dink's nose. What's this? Dink plucked a bright green feather off the sole of Josh's sneaker. Josh shrugged. I must have picked it up on the bus. Dink slipped the feather into his pocket. There's Moose Manor, Walker called. He pointed through the trees. Look at this beautiful picture we have to look at here. Oh, there it is off in the distance. Dink stared at the tall castle. It was built of huge gray stones. Its small, dark windows looked like watching eyes. An iron fence surrounded the building. Cool, Dink said softly. Look, guys, a moat, Ruth Rose said. Do you guys know what a moat is? A moat is that little kind of river that goes around a castle that keeps the enemies out. And a drawbridge, cried Josh. Walker pulled up in front of the gate. The kids hopped out with their packs. I have to get back to my boat, Walker said. Sis should be here soon. Have fun, he waved and sped back through the trees. He looks like a pretty nice guy. I feel like anybody is fair game when it comes to being a suspect, though. And we don't even know what the mystery is yet. So just keep that in mind. Everybody that you meet, and think of those clues, and think in your head, jinkies, if you start seeing something that might give you a clue. Because, again, we don't know what the mystery is. But remember, there will be a suspect. Up close, the castle towered over the kids. The battlements on top reminded Dink of giants' teeth. Josh pushed the gate, and it creaked open. They peered down into the moat. Ruth Rose let out a laugh. Look, guys, the bottom of the empty moat was planted with flowers, so the moat had no water in it. Hey, guys, Josh called. Check this out. He had crossed the drawbridge and was standing in front of an enormous wooden door. He tugged on the handle, but the door wouldn't budge. How the heck does Wallace get in? Just then, Dink heard a car. A red Volkswagen convertible zoomed up to the gate. The horn tooted, and a hand waved wildly. It's Wallace, shouted Dink. And then we will pick up next time with Chapter 2. And guess what I have as a bookmark? A carrot. So you definitely know this came from our classroom because I'm using a carrot as a bookmark. Okay, so I will put the bookmark in and we'll pick up next time.